The other night I was doing one of my jam nights, and the bass player who's in the house band and his girlfriend, they turned up with an early birthday present for me. How lovely. And it was this. It was the Lekato WS-80 guitar wireless system, and it's a tiny little box that houses the three components: the transmitter, the receiver, and this tiny little lead that you use to charge the internal batteries. It's so simple and actually huge value for money. Let's have a look. Here then we've got the transmitter and the receiver. As you can see, they've both got blue lights at the moment, which means that they are active, they are on. You can switch them off with a tiny little switch on the side, and there you go, no lights anymore. When it's in operation, if it starts to flash yellow, it means low battery, and then when you plug it into charge, you see the yellow lights on constantly, and they go out when you're ready to go, when you've fully charged. The batteries are internal on this, so do make use of full battery discharge and charge cycles where you can, because then the product will obviously last longer. But it's massive value for money, this. Now I'm just going to plug the transmitter in. You've got a 220-degree range on the jack plug on both items, both sort of sections of this, so that means that you can plug it into a Stratocaster, which has got a recessed jack plug, without any problem at all. So there's my Strat with the transmitter in like that. So I'm just going to switch that on, put the other end into my guitar amp, switch that on, and we're good to go. Now I'm sat 5'5" away from my guitar amp. That represents a time delay of 5 milliseconds in terms of the sound. We go a little bit silly with latency. It says less than 5 milliseconds on this, but it really is nothing. I don't think anything of having the guitar amp just there. I don't notice any delay. There's never any problem. Now, the only trouble is with a range like this, it says 100 foot, which is actually quite a long way, but that is with no obstacles. You know, as soon as you introduce walls or windows or double glazing or anything like that, the range is going to be much shorter. It doesn't matter. I did a gig in Oxford Street, Debenhams, once to promote, and it was with a disco band, to promote some 70s sort of retro clothing, and we were hired to play on the shop floor. It's the most bizarre gig I've ever done. But we had guitar wireless systems, so we were running up and down the escalators playing, and got back to the bottom, the drummer was rather stony faced, and we basically got a bit of a telling off. The drummer said that was just dreadful because you were so behind the beat. Of course we were, because we were tens of feet away, and it means that the band is out of time with each other. So frankly, there's no point in having anything that's 100 foot. 100 foot is actually 100 milliseconds in terms of sound, 1,000 feet per second. So actually, you don't really want to be a massive distance from your amp at all. Now, if I just play a chord, you can hear that it tracks the volume on a guitar really nicely as well. You don't get any of those artifacts that you used to get from the VHS systems that sort of go or just do something weird with the volume. And of course, the jack plug is all internal. You haven't got a tiny little jack plug that will invariably go wrong, or a jack socket that doesn't work. It's all in the box. Simply out of the guitar into the amp. It's exactly the same as having a guitar cable. What's not to like?